everyone. Welcome to Sapthora Chess Summit Camp. My name is Nikhil Joshi and I'm a chess educator at Sapthora. So here I'm going to start this session. So as you all can see the chess board here. This is how the board look like. We have total 64 squares on the board, out of which these dark squares here, we need to treat them as black squares and these rest ones are white squares. That makes 32 black squares and 32 white squares on the board. Now, the next thing is these are the main six pieces that are needed to play this game. So one should need to master how these pieces moves, attacks, or defends. Firstly, we are going to talk about their names. What do we call them officially? Starting with this here, the one which I've circled. This is called a king. That's a king here. Next to the king is we have queen. Next to the queen, we have here rook. R-O-O-K. Rook. Okay, so next to the rook, we have here bishop. It's B-I-S-H-O-P. Bishop. So now next to the bishop, we have here knight. K-N-I-G-H-T. Knight. Next to the knight, we have pawn. P-A-W-N. Pawn. So here we have done with the names. Now, the next thing I'm going to tell you about that each one of these chess pieces has points here. Each one of them carries some points value here. That's what I'm going to tell you now. Starting with king again, the king has 0 points. Zero. Zero, or we can say uncountable or countless. But since zero is easy to remember, so that's why zero. Next, we have here queen. Queen is the strongest piece in the game, and this is the simple reason she is having maximum point out rest of them all. And she has 9 points. Next to the queen, we have here rook, and rook has 5 points. Next to the rook, we have bishop, and bishop has 3 points here. Next, we have knight. Knight again has 3 points. Both bishop and knight has 3 points each. And the last we have here pawn, and the pawn has 1 point. Pawn has 1 point. Now I'm going to tell you about, as you all can see, there are letters and numbers here on the board. So let's discuss about what is the purpose of them here. So let's start with letters. What letters or alphabets tells us that these sleeping straight lines which I'm drawing here, as you can see, is these standing lines on the board. These are called files. These standing lines on the board are called files. F-I-L-E-S. Files. And files have been named after these alphabets down here. Files simply means if a chess piece is moving in straight direction on this standing way, that's supposed to be called moving on the files. How we can get the name for the files here? Like this one I have drawn, this is on B file. This is B file here. Since the direction is on B, that's B file. Next we have here D file. Next we have F file, H file, A file, C file, E file, and G5. So this is how we can get the name for each one of those files here. Okay. Now we are done with the files. Let's talk about the numbers here. What numbers tells us that these sleeping lines which I'm drawing now, these sleeping lines are called ranks. These side lines, sleeping lines are called ranks. RANKS, ranks. And similar to the files where alphabets does the job, here numbers tells the name for each of the ranks. So how we can get it? How we can make it? Like this way. That we have here second rank. This is we have second rank here. This next we have fourth rank. Next here we have sixth rank. Next here we have eighth rank. This is we have first rank. This is third rank. Next we have here fifth rank. And the last one is seventh rank. So here we have done about files and ranks, how we draw them and how we name it. Now, the next important topic comes on behalf of these two, that what is the purpose of files and ranks on the board? What they do? So the purpose here is that, as I said in the beginning, that we have total 64 squares on the board. So each and every square has a name. All the 64 squares has their names. So how we can get it? How we can name the squares? That is just a simple task. We just need to combine files and ranks both together. And this is how we are going to get the square name. Like for an example, this square, which I've circled here, let's see which file the square is on. The square is on D5. Next, which rank this is on? So we have this on fifth rank. What would be the name for this square here? This is D5. We have here D5. Okay. Next, what about this square? What would be the name for this square? So similar to the first one, the same way we can get it. The square is on A5 and 8th rank. So that is the name of this square. A8. A8 is the name of the square. Next, what would be the name for this square then? Can you guess? Yes, this is E4. Since it's on E5 and 4th rank. So that we have here E4. What about this next one? Yes, we have here G7. G7. Next, yes, we have here H1. So it's just simple. You need to join alphabet with number, and this is how you are going to make the square name. All right. Now let's start a poll here, a chess trivia poll, where where the poll is going to ask a couple of questions with the options here. Let me just launch it so that you can all see. So the first question here is for chess trivia poll number 1 is, how many squares are there on the chessboard? So the right answer is, we have total 64 squares on the board. As you all remember, I've already mentioned it. We have total 64 squares on the board. Next question. What does the word checkmate, share, mat mean in Persian? What is the word checkmate name or shahmat means in Persian? Number A option is king is alone. King is hopeless, king needs help, or king is dead. So the right answer to this position is king is dead. Why? Because share mat. Share means attack. When something is under attack, when something is getting threatened, that means in Persian, share. And mat means dead. Mat have associated with the name dead. That's why the right answer is the fourth option here. King is dead. All right. Now let's move to the next question. So it is approximately how old is the game of chess? How old the game of chess? Approximately. Number one, around 1500 years. Number two, around 300 years. Number three, more than 5000 years. Number fourth option, around 600 years. Let's just find out. Think. Now I'm going to tell you the right answer to this question is around 1500 years. Chess is somewhere around 1500 years old game. Has been developed in the by the age of when they're like warriors, when they're like kings, and in that way it has been established that time so that they can overcome their their anxiety, their anger over on something. So that's why this game has been developed since then. Okay, let's move to the next question now. Where did chess originate? That's an interesting one and my favorite. Where does where did chess originate? Number one, India. Second, Russia. Third, Italy or Germany. So I proudly say that chess has been originated in our country, that is India. This game has been originated in India and now it's worldwide famous. Yes, it's worldwide, globally famous. Okay. So here we have done our trivia pool. Okay. Next, I'm going to tell you about how we place the board, how to set up a board. See, for the white pieces supposed to be placed over here on the second and the first rank. This is here, the white pieces supposed to be placed. And for the black ones, they are supposed to be placed on 8th and 7th rank. So I'm going to show you how. Whenever we start off placing the pieces, see, it's up to you whether you already know how to set it. It's perfectly fine. But if you're not sure, or if this is the first time you're learning it, so I'm going to explain you. Whenever starting with the setup here, place the rooks at both corners like this way. Next to the rook, we're supposed to place the knights. After the knights, we need to place the bishops to both ends like this way. Now after the bishop, it's time to place king and queen. So whichever side we are placing, like if we are placing a white queen, so the white queen is supposed to be on the same color sheets of. It's a white, needed to be placed on the white square, and if it's a black queen, she needs to be placed on black square. And right after the queen, we're supposed to place the king, just like that. And now, after to it, its pawns supposed to be placed, and pawn needs to place on the front rank, that is the second rank, for the right hand side. Similar to this, black pieces needs to be placed in the same order, just like the white pieces. Black queen has to become on the black queen, as I mentioned already. Next to it, supposed to be the king, and in the front rank, we need to place all the pawns. So this is exact the setup of a chess board. So next, I'm going to tell you about rook here. Rook has 5 points, as you already know. So now, how does a rook move? Rook moves like a plus shape. How? Like this way. Rook goes straight on the files and straight to the ranks, as we have already discussed about files and ranks on the board. So now you need to remember it. Rook goes straight on the files, straight to the ranks, like in this way. And the way it moves would be the same way he attacks or defends. All right. Next, we have here bishop. And how does the bishop moves? Bishop moves diagonally. Bishop moves diagonally, like a cross. So we have here two bishops on each side. Both white and black has two bishops each. One supposed to be placed on black square and another one on white square. So bishop can only move to the respective square he's placed on, as bishops are not allowed to interchange the color. So if he's on a black square, he can only move to black squares diagonally, or if bishop is placed on a white square, he can only move to white squares diagonally, like this way. All right. So this is here how the rook and bishop moves. Let's see some examples here. Like I've placed this position. So just find out if this bishop is attacking the rook here. The question is, find out whether the bishop can take the black rook. Yes or no. So the answer to it is that no, bishop can't take the black rook here, as both the pieces are on different diagonal. This is the reason. Both the pieces are on different diagonal. This is why bishop can't take the rook. Okay. Now let's find out in this next position here. It's black to play. Find out whether the black rook can take the white bishop or not. So in this position here, yes, the rook can take the bishop. Why? Now since both the pieces are on the same direction, that is seventh rank, this is why the rook can take the bishop all straight up. All right. Okay. Let's move to the next position here. We have here this next position. So let's find out whether the white bishop can take the black rook. Is it possible for the white bishop to take the black rook? Yes or no? The answer is yes. Bishop can surely take the rook here. Why? Because both the pieces are on the same diagonal, and since bishop moves diagonally, so here bishop can take the rook. Yes, bishop can take the rook. All right, everyone. So here we have discussed about the square names, total squares, about the name for each one of these pieces here, points as well, files, ranks, and yeah, also how the rook and bishop moves. So that's all for today. Thank you very much.